Well, hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. Today we're going to show you the websites and the phone apps that we use to plan our RV travel. Well, hi, it's Jerry. I want to take you through a number of websites and phone apps that Joan and I use in our RV travels. Some of these we use almost daily. They're just absolutely fantastic in our planning process as well as while we're traveling down the road. I just can't imagine not having these and do the travel that we actually do. It just makes life so much simpler and makes our planning extremely simple. So I'm going to show you 4 websites today and then just a handful of very useful phone apps. So let's start with the first one. I'm actually going to show this app twice. Once from using it on our laptop or on your desktop, and then I'm also going to show it from your phone, and that's Google Maps. This is an invaluable tool when we do RV trip planning. One of the first applications that we use that is web-based is Google Maps. And when we look at Google Maps, initially we use it to kind of set our distance from point A to point B. And this I will start with a trip just to show you an example of what we're doing as we get ready to travel out west. We're going to go out to the Grand Canyon and back. We hope this fall. Everything is going to go well for that. And we follow something called the 330 rule. And the 330 rule, we work very hard not to go more than 330 miles per day or stop by 3:30 in the afternoon, whichever comes first. And we learned this the hard way by pulling into campgrounds in the pitch dark of night, and I do not recommend that for anyone. So let me show you how we do this. We're going to start off in our hometown here in Macon, Georgia, and we're going to attempt to find something under that 330 miles. And we're not going to, it doesn't always fit. Sometimes it might be 275, sometimes it might be 350, but we try to work right around that rule as much as possible. We're going to go to directions. I'm going to, if you'll notice, I'm starting here with our hometown at the bottom. I'm going to flip that to the top, and I'm going to then come over here to our right, and I'm going to make this map a little bit smaller just so I can kind of see the area here. And I'm imagining, just because we've traveled this a bit in the past, Nashville, Tennessee is going to be pretty much within that 330 miles. And as you notice here on the left-hand side of the screen, it's roughly about 5 hours away, 333 miles. And that would fall within our rule of thumb of roughly 330 miles within that window. And we get the joys of traveling through an early Sunday morning through Atlanta. That would be my recommendation. I don't think you want to do it on a Friday at 5. Trust me on this one. But here we are going from Macon to Nashville. So I think that's a very, very good distance. So we would add Nashville to our list as a first stop. Now we're going to start going west, and I'm going to scoot the map over just a little bit. And matter of fact, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller again by hitting that minus or the plus, if you see that. I'm now going to go back up here to the left, and I'm going to put Nashville on the top. And I don't know, let's put in Little Rock. If I can only type. Little Rock, Arkansas. And boom, we're looking at it again. We're going to head down I-40 heading out west. And I'm seeing that Little Rock, Arkansas is roughly, it's 349 miles. It's roughly within that 330 mile limit. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add Little Rock, Arkansas to the list. Next, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put Little Rock on top. And we've got to find our next destination. So we're going to stretch out here, and let's see how Oklahoma City looks here. So we'll come up here and put in Oklahoma City. And boom, look at here, 339 miles. So, and I'll stop here, and the first 3 stops, they're falling right around our 330 mile limit that we're setting for ourselves. We see that we're traveling down I-40 in most of these locations as we're starting our plans out west. We'll continue to stretch this out as time goes on, and we'll put together a complete city by city by city destination that we want to look at when we get to an area. So this is how we use Google Maps to start our planning, our travel planning, and see which direction that we want to be able to go, see what highways that we want to be able to use, and then establish the distance of point A to point B. It's very, very helpful for us to do this initial planning. The next website I'm going to be showing you is ALLSTAYS.com. I came out of this out of necessity when I moved from iPhones over to iOS devices a couple years ago, and ALLSTAYS, for whatever reason, decided they were no longer going to support Android. And really that was to my benefit. You're not going to hear me say that too often, that I've lost an app and I'm happy about it. But moving over to their website opened up a whole new world for me. Speed of using the application, and just an absolutely phenomenal presentation on how to be able to find campgrounds for a specific area that you're visiting, the speed of finding those, and just how quickly you can access that information. Let me show you how I use this website. The next web-based application that we're going to use is ALLSTAYS. I am a huge, huge fan of the ALLSTAYS application. It is created by a gentleman by the name of Adam Longfellow. Adam is a fellow RVer, and I just can't say enough about this application. He maintains it very, very well, has put in a phenomenal amount of work, giving a great presentation, super, super easy to use, and I really like the web-based application. How I came about this application was ALLSTAYS stopped supporting, or no longer offered, a app for an Android phone, and I got a new Samsung Android phone, and there was no way for me to be able to get ALLSTAYS. He only supports iOS devices. Really, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I've got to admit, I absolutely love this web-based application. Let me show you how I use it. So you'll notice that there's a number of things up here, including a pro sign-in. Let me suggest this. The application is free to use, what I will be showing you today, but at the same time there's a number of other features that I think that you would absolutely like. I'm not going to show you those from a pro perspective, but you know, this is a very inexpensive cost of an application, roughly in the mid $30 range, roughly about the cost of one stay at a campground. And for the amount of work that the ALLSTAYS team puts into this, I would hope that you would support them. I will just share this. I am so impressed with ALLSTAYS that we did become an affiliate, and you can go to the I Love RV Life website, and you'll see a widget on the right hand side, and you can sign up there. And we would appreciate that if you do consider doing this. But if you choose to use the free part of this application, I don't think that you will be disappointed at all. It really is fantastic. So let me show you the free elements that are here, and I think you're going to be very, very impressed. So we have our 3 destinations that we're going to be going to that we found in the Google Maps using our 330 rule, and our first stop is going to be Nashville. So if you look here on the left hand side, you'll see a number of states that are listed here, and we're going to start off in Tennessee. And we're going to see what's available in Nashville, since this is going to be our first stop. I think you're going to be really impressed with this application, especially the web base. Just fantastic. So now we are going to look at the different campgrounds that are in the Nashville area, and we have a list here on our left hand side. One of the things that I want to show you is you get an approximate dollar sign of less expensive. Here's $3 marks, to here's one that is more expensive with $5 marks. Here's another one, $5 marks. You also get the sites how many sites are located in the area, and you can get some other details as well. So let's move on down. I'm going to show you how we found Two Rivers Campground using this application. And I'm going to go ahead and just click on Two Rivers. A number of things pops up that you will see, not only Two Rivers, but you will see a list of the other campgrounds in the area and how close they are located to this one. Just absolutely fantastic. And then you see the physical address here. And again, you get an estimated cost, not dollars, but showing you this is not an inexpensive campground. It's open year-round, 96 sites, 50 feet. You get all the features that they have there as far as full hookups, power sizes, etc. You see they're giving some discounts. They have internet, cable TV, pet friendly, on and on and on. Then let's look at it from a map perspective. This is going to pull up Google Maps for us. I think this is extremely handy. So here we see the campground. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go out just a little ways and see what's in the area. And I've gone out just a little bit too far here. And I can see there's eateries up and down the road. That's a good thing to see in case we want to go out to eat in the evening. There's the convention center for the Gaylord. There's the Grand Ole Opry, Dave & Buster's, Opry Mills, on and on and on. So, you know, this gives us an idea of what's in the area, and we're pretty happy with that. Next thing we're going to do is go over here to this little area that you see called satellite. If you're not familiar with Google Maps, this gives us a satellite view of a specific area. I'm going to drill down into this, and you can see the pin that Google puts in for this, and I'm going to be able to look at the campground and see, you know, how close the campers are to one another. And let's look at this and go, yep, I've got some green space. This is a reasonable destination, and I'm probably going to stop here for just a couple days as we start our trip out west. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that shows me how I can use the ALLSTAYS app to go directly to Google Maps. I think that's really nice to have that. Another great feature that you have here is the phone number for the campground that they place here. And then they'll also provide me with a direct link to that campground's website. So I can click on that and go to the website for this group here. And I can look at things like their facility map, rates, etc., etc., etc. See their Good Sam benefits that they offer here as well. And then whatever else that the website shows. This is not ALLSTAYS website. This is actually Two Rivers Campground website. So I can look and see if this is a place that we want to be able to go. So ALLSTAYS app, I think it's just absolutely fantastic. It helps us find campgrounds super fast. It helps us find campgrounds that are within the price range that we want to. Now we're going to go to the next step and see if this would be a campground that we really want to stay in. Let's look at some reviews. The next website I'm going to be showing you is TripAdvisor. Jerry, you might be thinking, why do you use TripAdvisor? There's great RV apps that are out there, or great RV websites. You're absolutely right. There are some very good ones out there. I use TripAdvisor for a specific reason. Let me show you why. There are some tricks to using TripAdvisor as you're looking at campgrounds. Let me show you this. When you type into your search bar, and I'm going to be using Chrome here, TripAdvisor, I'm next going to be putting in the actual campground name that I have an interest in. Using just the TripAdvisor, going to TripAdvisor.com and just using the search bar in TripAdvisor often will not give you the results that you want. So here's TripAdvisor's Two Rivers Campground in Nashville, Tennessee, we hope. Let's see what happens, and here we go. I'm seeing Two Rivers Campground in TripAdvisor.com. So we're going to open this up. So we're here in TripAdvisor, and I see that there's Two Rivers Campground. We see it's in Nashville. We see the actual physical address. Sometimes campgrounds have same names, and they may be in two different states. So you want to validate that this is the one that you want to look at. So we're going to go ahead and pull this down. And there's some photos. You can bump through the photos and see the different photos that are located in a specific area. I've been here before, and that was our next door neighbor. They were the sweetest couple when we were there back a few months ago, and we do enjoy this campground, and they were so sweet. and we enjoyed talking with them. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down and start looking at reviews. So we've gone to Google Maps. We found a specific location. We went to ALLSTAYS and looked at campgrounds for a specific area, and we have chose this one, Two Rivers Campground in Nashville. And now I want to see what other people are saying about this campground and see if they have the same kind of views that Joan and I have before we go staying there. And we're going to bump on down through all the ads. One of the things that I like about this is they're going to show restaurants nearby. You can click here and get other restaurants, and you can start looking at attractions that are in the area. You got to love this backyard axe throwing league. Yes, only in Nashville will you see that. It's awesome. But anyway, you can also click here and see other nearby attractions. So handy. Let's get through a few more ads. And then we get down here and we start seeing what people have said about this. The good thing about it, here it is. Here's a recent comment, 4 out of 5. And they're saying some very nice things about the campground. We go a little bit further and we see another 3 out of 5. Not terrible, but they made a couple comments that you might want to look at to see if it's either pro or con for why you would stay there. Here's another 4 out of 5. Awesome campground. These folks liked it. Keep on going. A 5 out of 5. We can see why the folks like this one. You can also many times read more about their specific comments if there's other comments that are offered there. More positive comments, and they go on and on and on. Newest to oldest out to 53 pages. So for TripAdvisor and many of these places where they have reviews, Jerry always has rules. We've got the 330 rule. I sound like an NCIS episode, but we also have when we review these, we have something we call the 9 out of 10 rule. If I see 9 good comments and 1 bad, usually there's a reason for that bad, and many times you can overlook it once you look at the details. TripAdvisor is great because I will share this. TripAdvisor sometimes has many of your toughest critics of places to stay. So it's very handy. And I like this above some of the other campground affiliated style of comments, only because of all the other added information that I can find about a specific area. And I think that is just so beneficial as I'm looking for fun things that I might want to do. So anyway, TripAdvisor, very helpful. The last website I'm going to be showing you is PassportAmerica.com. This website and the associated service is absolutely invaluable for Joan and I to be able to save money while we're seeking campgrounds. Let me show you why. Passport America is a huge saving for Joan and I. We have found fantastic deals. But one of the great benefits about using Passport America is when we're just going to do an overnight stay, as we're going to do a number of those when we head out west. We want to get out west as quickly as possible, so we'll do an overnight and overnight and overnight, and not stay for a day or 3 days or 5 days. We just want to get out west. So Passport America is fantastic for that because you get, as you see here, 50% off of campsites at $44 a year. $44 a year. I usually get my payback in 1 week for a whole year's worth of use. It's fantastic. So let me show you how you can use this. Here's campgrounds. We're going to go there quickly. There's a number of ways that you can find campgrounds. I'm going to show you the quick way that I like to do it. But here's new campgrounds that have signed up, search campgrounds, on and on and on. You can click on a specific Providence, a state, to look at that. I like to just go right in here, and we're gonna see what we're gonna do for an overnight stay in Oklahoma. So we're gonna go to Oklahoma, and quickly you'll see here. There's also an app for this as well, but I find the web view is super fast as you're looking at this over my Verizon connection. So I see here right around Oklahoma City, I'm going to be skirting right down I-40, and you can just click on a specific location. Here is 75 RV Park. So let's just look at them really quick. And oh, look at this. I can stay there. Here is my Passport America rate, 15 to 17.50. Bingo. That's worth every penny to be able to pull over, have electricity for the night. If I need to dump my tanks, I can do that. If I need to add some water to the tanks, I can do that, and just have a nice stay without a bunch of trucks running, next to me all night long, or a whole bunch of traffic. How perfect is that? Now, one of the things that's very, very important is to be able to go here in this area called Notes, and you want to see what they say about how they honor Passport America. Sometimes you will see no limits in your stays, and as we see here, this is good for one night. I will call them ahead of time and say, we're going to be coming here on this night, and we would like to use our Passport America. And usually they'll say, you got it. And I'm noticing here they may offer some additional discounts for longer stays. They'll take reservations and drive-ups. That's very important. We're going to use the reservation route here. It's cash only, so have you a few extra dollars in your pocket. For those of you who travel with puppies, that's a nice thing to see that they allow that. And we're in Oklahoma, so it's always important to make sure that horses are welcome, right? So this is an ideal location that Joan and I can stay at a Passport America honored campground for somewhere between $15 and $7.50 a night. Get up the next morning and head to our next location. What a deal. Next, I'm going to be showing you phone apps that we use. There are some of these websites that I shared with you earlier that have phone apps as well. Passport America, ALLSTAYS, Google Maps, are some of those. And then there's a monumental list of others that are out there. Some good, some not as good as others. But these are those handful of apps, it's not many of them, that we use as we're traveling down the road. And it just makes travel better. It gives us more information as we're heading down the road, and you'll see why. Let's start with Gas Buddy. This first application I'm going to show you is Gas Buddy. If you do not have this app on your phone, it works for both Android and iOS. You can put it on a pad. You can also look at it from the web. This is fantastic. We use it going down the road. We use it when we get to campgrounds. This can save you a phenomenal amount of money. I have seen prices 30 cents a gallon difference. I even have seen prices 40 cents a gallon difference within just a couple miles of each other. It's unbelievable. So if you have location services turned on, here you can see find gas near you. So we're going to look in this application. I can look at this specific area and I'm seeing diesel. If you notice up at the top, I have this set for price and distance, and I'm going to be using diesel in my F350. So I eat your heart out for those who are not in Georgia. This is $2.89, $2.88, $2.91, on and on and on. So we can look at the difference in the swing. Now, if I'm not sure about a specific area, I can go up here and tap on the map. And I can drill into a specific area and see what the prices might be. If I know we're going to be going up somewhere, yep, they even show places to eat sometimes. But we can go, that's a new enhancement that you see here. So we can actually kind of spin around the area and see the varying prices for diesel in my application for some locations that we may want to go to. It's absolutely incredible. Now, from a planning perspective, this can be used as well. So let's say that we're going to be heading to Nashville, and we just are setting our budget for how much we're going to be spending, and we know that we're going to be there and need to fuel up while we're in the area. We can look, there's the Nashville cluster, and if we know that we're going to be over at a specific campground in this specific area, we can look and see, oh my goodness, there's gas prices in the $2.75 for diesel. I keep saying gas prices, but I'm talking about diesel here. It's an absolutely incredible application. It will save you monumental amounts of money. Just showing you here, here's $3.19. If you notice down at the bottom, that one's $3.19. And you can go up here to where we would probably be staying in this specific area, and it's $2.84, $2.75, etc., etc. What a fantastic app. Gas Buddy. You definitely need this one on your phone. The next app that I'm going to be showing you is Google Apps. I know I showed you that from a web perspective using a laptop just a few minutes ago, but as we travel, this is our GPS alternative, and let me show you how we use that. I'm going to be showing you Google Maps from a video. If you notice up in the top right hand side of your screen, I've just placed a card that will show you a YouTube video that we created not long ago about how we use Google Maps when we travel on the road. We gave up the GPS, and I'll not go into all the details of why we did that and how we use Google Maps. I would encourage you to click on that card and look at it in greater detail, or go to the ilovervlife.com site. You can search for Google Maps in the search bar, and it will pop up, and you can get not only the video but some of the details and some other interesting information about the components that we use, the 8-inch tablet, etc., the mount that we use in the window. But we absolutely love using Google Maps versus a GPS. We just gave up on the GPS. Again, I'll cover all that in the video. I would just encourage you, if you're interested in looking at alternatives for a GPS and you're just tired of using one of the brands that's out there and it's sent you down a dirt road, or it's just inflexible. That was our biggest issue. We couldn't set something called waypoints, and that's very important for us in the way that we travel and the way we do our trip planning. And Google Maps actually has some really nice enhancements. We've really enjoyed making this transition. About 18 months ago, it'd be very, very difficult for us to go back to a physical GPS system. So we've been traveling for miles and miles and miles, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's been a long trip so far, and you need a leg stretch in the worst of ways. You need a potty break. And then this next application, Rest Stops, oh, it's wonderful. A very useful app that we use while we're traveling is Rest Stops. You will see that here. This is another free app. This is absolutely invaluable. And we've all been going down the road. We've been on the road for a couple hours. We need to just stop and just stretch our legs. If it's nothing more than 15 minutes, just to kind of get some good karma going, or visit the rest stop restroom, something like that. This is very, very helpful. So here we are. I'll just kind of give you, for instance, we know that we're going to be going up the road for several miles. Isn't this nice? It shows you all the interstates. Here we see that we're going to be traveling northbound, and somewhere before we get to the Tennessee border, we want to pull over, and we can look here and see that we've got at mile marker 308, right before we get to the Tennessee border. You'll see here it's 127 miles at that mile marker, right before you get just a few miles from that Tennessee border. What a wonderful stop that you can do to be able to pull over. Oh, but what happens if we get there and the rest stop is closed for some reason? Well, there might be another option. I'll show you how you could use that quickly. The only reason I know this happened is this really happened to us recently. So we'll go down to Tennessee. We'll go back to 75. And we'll look and we'll go, oh, look at there, right down at the bottom. There's the Georgia border, northbound, mile marker number 1. We've got restrooms and we've got all kinds of things that we can pull over. You'll also see on the right-hand side, 16 truck parking places. Very, very important. If you are looking at pulling over to rest stop and you do not see truck parking areas, that 56-foot of fifth wheel and truck is not going to find a place to park. So important. This is a wonderful application. You can view it by map when you're looking at a specific area, and it just has so much information. Tremendous. Rest Stops. This is both available for iOS, and it's available for your Android phones, and it's free. These next apps are so handy, and I'm going to put both of them together. They're wonderful. When you're 56 feet long, a F350 and a 40-foot fifth wheel, or you're a big 40-foot or 50-foot Class A, or you're just a big long travel trailer going down the road and you've got to pull over. These next two is Loves and the Pilot Flying J apps. These next two apps are very, very helpful, especially for those of us who are driving big Class A's, or you're pulling a long travel trailer, or in our instance, a 40-foot fifth wheel and then the big truck. You're just not going to pull anywhere to be able to get gas or fuel. This is Love Connect. It's another free application that you can gain access to. And if you're looking for a specific location, you can put it in by a city or state or store number if you were to happen to know that, or you just click on the stores down at the bottom and you can look at it usually by the interstate, and you can pull into a specific area and see exactly what's going to be available. This is so helpful for us because this is where we'll buy diesel if we are going down the road and we know that we're not going to make it to our camping destination. We can see what might be available in that specific area. Here you see I-24 going north at exit 89, and it'll start giving some information. You can click on the store details and it will actually give you diesel and your DEF prices, and if they have other information there, it's very helpful as well. So that's the Love connection. So this next one is your Pilot Flying J. Again, very, very helpful. I'm just going to continue as a guest here. And you can see you've got three options here: professional, RV, or auto. Isn't that nice? So we're going to put in the RV. And then boom, look at that. It's going to actually zoom into the location that it thinks that we're at. And here again, we're following maps. And we could go up here, and if we're looking for a specific location as we're getting up Tennessee, we can see here on I-24, we can tap on that location. Here you'll see that it will give us the distance that we are from it. It will give us the exit, and it will give us, we see here, the unleaded and the diesel prices, and it's also showing that it has restaurants, and look there. This one is an RV-friendly location. How nice is that? So these are great apps. And we do use them a lot when you're going down the road and I'm looking at that fuel tank and it's below a quarter. We're going to start looking for a place to pull over and get us some fuel. This is the last of the apps, WeatherBug. Have you seen it? I found it about a year ago and just fell in love with it. It is one of the most valuable weather forecasting tools, not only while you're traveling, but while you're in your RV as well. And I think you'll see why. The last application that I'm going to be showing you that we use a lot is WeatherBug. We have become big fans of WeatherBug for a number of reasons. Aside from just your general weather that you see here, as far as getting an hourly forecast, getting your 10-day forecast, we like the map presentation that they use for a specific area. And again, you can pinch like you would typically see if you're driving down the road and you're seeing it's clouding up. You can see what types of storms might be in a specific area. I'm going to go back over to now. It does things like giving you air quality and those types of things. But this is another biggie. If it's starting to get dark and if you're wondering if it's going to be a troublesome area, this is absolutely a fabulous addition. So if we know that we're going to be traveling down the road, getting in a specific area and running across a scary line of thunderstorms, you can actually get real-time lightning data, and that's going to tell you what type of a storm. So you can look here in Oklahoma right now. These guys are getting smacked around pretty bad in Oklahoma City. I hope they're being safe. But you can see a tremendous amount of lightning activity, and it's actually showing it to you real time. You'll see the flashes. Absolutely a fantastic application. We use it like crazy. It's got great alerts that you can turn on. Be a little cautious about your battery usage when you have that, but you can have that on in the evenings for the specific location that you're at, and it will beep through the day and beep through the night if there's bad weather in a specific area. Fantastic application. Big fan of WeatherBug. That's our favorite websites for RV travel planning and our favorite apps that we use in our RV travel planning and as we're heading down the road. I know that for some of you that are watching this, you're going, Jerry, you overplan. We're free spirits. We like to just get in the RV and go down the road. That's wonderful. That's the great thing about RV travel. It really fits the different types of lifestyles that you enjoy. And even with the apps that I showed you, many of those will apply for even those of you who are free spirits, finding your rest stops and fuel locations and in places to where you don't have to spend a lot of money. And then that ALLSTAYS app is just absolutely incredible as you're going down the road. You can start looking at campgrounds nearby and finding out what works for you. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love it. But there's one more that I want to be able to share with you. I know many of these apps and many of these things that I showed you earlier were free, but here's one more piece of advice that I'm going to share with you. This. Yep. This and the Sharpie. I know. What do you do with that? Well, you know, when we lay out our trip from point A to point B, I put down the roads, the exits, I put down mile markers, I put down fuel stops, and most important, the campground we're going to, the address, and the phone number. Look, this is what's going to happen. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to. I don't care what you use. The most expensive GPS in the world, Google Maps, it doesn't matter. Whether you're using a phone, it just doesn't matter. One of these days you're going to be going down the road and that thing is going to lose its mind. Yes, it is. And you're not going to know what to do. And your co-pilot that is sitting next to you is going to be over there on the phone trying to find out where you're at and what your next exit is. And when these things go crazy, they always happen at the most inopportune time. Of all the apps and of all the websites, this is probably the thing that gets used the most. I hope you have found this helpful. This is what Joan and I have been doing for about 5 years now. It really makes travel so much better for us. And these websites are invaluable. These apps are invaluable. And I hope that you have found some valuable information in this video today. Will we change? I'm sure we will. Phones are going to change. Tablets are going to change. New websites, new apps. Who knows, there might even be a better GPS out there in the future. Not too sure about that one. But if so, we might adapt to it. But again, don't forget this. It's free, it's cheap, it's easy. It just makes your RV life so much simpler. It's just another reason I love RV life.